Last winter, my aunt's rent jumped overnight. She sat at her kitchen table doing math that no longer worked. What if I told you her nightmare is optional? While renters everywhere burn 30 to 50% of their income just to keep a roof overhead, hidden countries exist where retirees live safer, richer lives for less than half that. Here's what nobody selling you a mortgage wants you to admit. Renting forever, drowning in property tax, chasing a version of stability that keeps slipping further away, none of that is mandatory. It's a choice built on outdated assumptions. And once you see what's actually possible outside the system you were handed, you can't unsee it. Before we count down the 10 countries mainstream real estate media won't touch, hit subscribe now. Entry number 7 made pension checks stretch 3 times further, and entry number 1 is a place most people have never even heard of. If you've ever felt priced out of your own life, you'll want to see all 10.
Number 10. Uruguay. Most retirement videos never even mention Uruguay. That's exactly why it's number 10 and not number 1. It's the warm-up, the proof this list isn't recycled clickbait. Picture cobblestone streets in Montevideo's Ciudad Vieja, ocean air rolling off the Rio de la Plata, a farmer's market on every corner. This isn't a developing country pitch. It's one of the most politically stable, low-crime nations in South America, regularly outranking countries most people assume are automatically safer just because they're wealthier. The numbers? A comfortable one-bedroom apartment averages $500 to $700 a month. A couple can live well, rent, groceries, healthcare, and transportation for roughly $1,800 to $2,200 monthly. That's a fraction of what renters in major cities worldwide burn just to survive. Healthcare answers the objection before you ask it. Uruguay's private health system routinely ranks among the best in Latin America, with premium coverage for a fraction of what people are used to paying elsewhere. No insurer gatekeeping your own money. Visa access removes the sounds nice but impossible excuse. Retirees can apply for permanent residency by showing modest proof of passive income. No massive investment required. No six-figure buy-in. Here's the emotional payoff nobody puts into words. You stop checking your bank balance with dread and start checking the weather instead. That shift from financial anxiety to actual peace is the entire point of this list. But Uruguay isn't even close to the most extreme option on this countdown. Entry number 9 cuts the average cost of living by almost 70%, and it comes with something most people assume only exists in fantasy: free healthcare for legal residents.
Number 9. Portugal. Here's what nobody in the real estate industry wants circulating. Portugal has quietly built one of the most retiree-friendly systems on Earth, and most people still think it's too expensive or too far. Neither is true anymore. Picture whitewashed villages along the Silver Coast, fishermen hauling in the morning catch, afternoons that move slower on purpose. This isn't a vacation fantasy, it's daily life for tens of thousands of foreign retirees already living it. The data. Outside Lisbon and Porto, a comfortable 2-bedroom rents for $700 to $900 a month. Total monthly cost of living for a couple, including healthcare, lands around $2,000 to $2,500. That's nearly 70% less than what many people are quietly drowning under back home, wherever home happens to be. Healthcare removes the objection instantly. Portugal's public healthcare system covers legal residents, and private supplemental insurance runs as low as $50 a month. Full coverage, no surprise billing, no in-network games. Visa access is almost suspiciously simple. The D7 visa was built specifically for retirees and passive income earners. Proof of steady income, and you're in. No massive investment, no bureaucratic nightmare. The emotional payoff is real. You stop dreading your monthly statement and start planning your next afternoon coffee by the water instead. That's not an ad. That's what residents keep saying unprompted. But don't get comfortable. Entry number 8 throws out the coastal Europe formula entirely and lands somewhere most people couldn't point to on a map, with costs so low even seasoned expats do a double take.
Number 8. Panama. Most people couldn't find Panama on a map beyond the canal. That gap in public knowledge is exactly why this entry hits so hard. While everyone's staring at Europe, Panama built the most aggressive retiree discount system in the Western Hemisphere, and almost nobody's talking about it. Picture rainforest meeting skyline in Panama City, or misty mountain towns like Boquete, where foreign retirees have quietly relocated by the thousands. This isn't French, it's an established, thriving expat corridor. The numbers? A comfortable apartment runs $600 to $800 a month outside the capital. A couple can live fully. Housing, food, transportation, entertainment on $1,800 to $2,200 monthly. Panama's currency is pegged directly to the US dollar, so there's no exchange rate risk quietly eating your savings, wherever your income is coming from. Healthcare is where this gets absurd. Panama's pensionado visa legally guarantees retirees 15 to 50% discounts on medical services, prescriptions, even movie tickets and utility bills. A government-mandated discount program most people have never heard exists. Visa access is the easiest on this list so far. Prove roughly $1,000 a month in guaranteed pension income and you qualify. No age minimum, no massive investment. The emotional payoff? You stop calculating how long your savings will last and start actually enjoying them. That mental shift is worth more than any dollar figure. But hold on, entry number 7 proves that even a well-known country can hide a healthcare safety net most people have never actually researched.
Number 7. Costa Rica.
Costa Rica gets mentioned constantly, which is exactly why most people scroll past it. They assume they already know the pitch. They don't. What almost nobody covers is Pura Vida isn't just a slogan. It's baked into a public healthcare system most people would consider science fiction. Picture misty cloud forests in Monteverde, or the laid-back rhythm of the Central Valley near Atenas, ranked repeatedly as having one of the best climates on Earth. This isn't backpacker culture, it's one of the most established foreign retiree communities in Latin America. The numbers: a comfortable home in the Central Valley runs $500 to $800 a month. A couple lives well, housing, food, transportation, on $1,700 to $2,000 monthly, less than half what many retirees spend just on housing alone back home. The healthcare is the real headline. Costa Rica's Taja system offers legal residents public health care for roughly $50 to $100 a month total, covering nearly everything. No deductibles, no denied claims, no 6-month wait for specialists. Visa access runs through the pensionado program. Prove about $1,000 a month in guaranteed pension income and residency follows, one of the most straightforward paths on this entire list. The emotional payoff: you stop fearing a medical emergency will bankrupt you and start realizing the fear was the old system talking, not reality. Entry 6 flips this list on its head completely because it's not about spending less, it's about a country actually paying you to move there.
Number 6. Spain. Here's the part that sounds fake until you see the paperwork. Rural Spain is depopulating so fast that entire towns are offering cash, free land, and subsidized homes just to get people to move in. Spanish media calls it España vaciada, emptied Spain, and almost no retirement content covers it. Picture stone farmhouses in Galicia or Castilla-León, church bells instead of car alarms, populations under 500 people welcoming outsiders with open arms instead of hostility. The numbers are almost absurd. Some municipalities offer grants of 3,000 to 15,000 euros to relocate, alongside homes renting for as little as $200 to $350 a month. A retired couple can live comfortably, including private healthcare supplements, on $1,600 to $2,000 monthly. Healthcare removes the objection instantly. Spain's public system is ranked among the best in the world, and residents qualify after establishing legal residency. No 6-figure insurance premium standing between you and a doctor. Visa access runs through Spain's non-lucrative visa, proof of passive income around $2,400 a month for a couple, and the door opens. No investment property required. The emotional payoff nobody says out loud? You stop feeling like a burden on a shrinking budget and start feeling like a welcomed neighbor in a town that actually wants you there. But everything changes from here. Entries 5 through 1 aren't just cheaper, they're where the math gets so extreme that even skeptical viewers start rethinking everything they assumed about retirement. Quick gut check before we go further. If you've made it this far and you're already rethinking where you're going to retire, hit subscribe now because entries 5 through 1 get so aggressive that some of these countries are actively trying to keep this information quiet. Number 1 isn't even on most people's radar. Let's keep going.
Number 5, Mexico. This is the part mainstream media conveniently leaves out. The Yucatán Peninsula, Mérida, Progreso, the surrounding region consistently ranks as one of the safest areas in North America, safer than plenty of cities people assume are automatically safer. Yet the "Mexico is dangerous" headline gets recycled endlessly because fear generates more clicks than facts. Picture colonial architecture in pastel colors, cenotes hidden in the jungle 20 minutes from downtown, a Gulf breeze that makes triple-digit heat feel survivable. Mérida has been named repeatedly among the safest cities in the Americas, not by tourism boards, but by independent crime index research. The numbers? A renovated colonial home in Mérida's historic center runs $600 to $900 a month. A couple lives comfortably, including household help most people could never afford back home, on $1,800 to $2,200 monthly. Healthcare is a genuine standout. Private hospitals in Mérida rival top-tier facilities elsewhere at a fraction of the cost, with routine doctor's visits often under $30 out of pocket. Visa access uses Mexico's temporary resident path, moderate income proof, straightforward renewal, a clear road to permanent residency after 4 years. The emotional payoff? You stop letting a headline from a news channel you don't even trust dictate where you're allowed to feel safe. But entry 4 is where this list stops being about nice alternatives and starts exposing a country most people have been told to completely ignore, and that assumption is costing people a fortune.
Number 4, Colombia. Say Colombia to most people and you'll get a reaction shaped entirely by an old TV drama, not present-day reality. Medellin has been transformed. Ranked repeatedly as one of the most livable cities in South America, with a climate so consistent, locals call it the city of eternal spring. The updated fear is doing more damage to people's wallets than it ever did to Colombia's reputation. Picture cable cars gliding over green mountainsides into neighborhoods that were slums 20 years ago and are now thriving, walkable communities. A transformation urban planners study worldwide. The numbers? A modern apartment in El Poblado or Laureles runs $500 to $750 a month. A couple lives comfortably, including a housekeeper many locals consider standard, not a luxury, on $1,600 to $1,900 monthly. Healthcare consistently ranks among the best in Latin America. Some studies place it above far wealthier nations in efficiency, with private consultations under $40 and comprehensive insurance around $100 a month. Visa access uses the retirement visa, proof of roughly 3 times Colombia's minimum wage and pension income, and the process moves faster than most European alternatives. The emotional payoff? You stop explaining your decision to relatives quoting a decades-old headline and start living somewhere they'll eventually beg you to let them visit. Entry 3 is where this list stops being about affordability altogether, because the next country isn't cheap. It's something far more dangerous to the industry profiting off housing panic worldwide. Proof that the entire system was optional the entire time.
Number 3, Italy. Here's a story that sounds like a scam until you see the deeds being signed. Dozens of Italian towns, Musameli, Sambuca, Ololai, are selling abandoned homes for as little as €1. Not a marketing gimmick. Actual municipal auctions, actual property titles, actual foreign buyers closing on Italian homes for less than a tank of gas. Picture centuries-old stone houses in Sicilian hill towns, church bells over empty piazzas that towns are desperate to fill again before they disappear entirely from population decline. The numbers? Renovation typically runs $20,000 to $50,000 depending on condition, meaning total cost, land included, still lands below used car in most major cities. Monthly living costs outside the renovation run $1,200 to $1,600 for a couple. Healthcare is where Italy stuns people. Its public system is consistently ranked among the top in the world, and long-term residents gain access, a safety net most people spend their entire working life terrified of losing. Visa access requires the elective residency visa, proof of stable passive income, no investment minimum tied to the home purchase itself. The emotional payoff? You stop believing home ownership requires a 30-year mortgage and start realizing the entire mainstream housing model was one option among many, never the only one. Entry 2 isn't a country retirees whisper about in online groups. It's a place actively recruiting foreign residents with tax incentives so aggressive, accountants call it too good to be legal. But it is.
Number 2, Malaysia. This is the entry financial advisors bring up in whispers, not on camera. Malaysia's retiree program includes tax exemptions on foreign-sourced income so favorable that some retirees pay less in annual taxes than they used to pay monthly on property tax alone back home. Picture Penang's colonial streets fused with night markets, or Kuala Lumpur's skyline against jungle-covered hills, a country where East and West blend into something most people have never considered, mostly because nobody markets it to them. The numbers. A modern condo in Penang or Kuala Lumpur runs $400 to $650 a month. A couple lives comfortably, including domestic help standard in the region, on $1,500 to $1,800 monthly, with English widely spoken as a former British colony. Healthcare ranks among the best in Southeast Asia, with private hospital costs so low medical tourists fly in specifically for procedures. Comprehensive insurance often under $80 a month. Visa access uses the Malaysia My Second Home program, proof of financial requirements that scaled by age, granting long-term residency with the tax structure fully intact. The emotional payoff? You stop resenting every tax season for what it takes and start realizing the system you've been funding your whole life was never the only option on the table. Entry number 1 isn't cheaper than everything else on this list. It's not even primarily about money. It's the entry that explains why every safe city you've been told to save up for might already be the riskiest financial decision available to you. Number 1, Ecuador. Everything on this list has been building to the one place financial researchers keep naming and general audiences keep ignoring. Cuenca, Ecuador has topped independent global retirement indexes more than any other city on Earth for over 10 straight years, and most people still couldn't find it on a map. Picture a UNESCO World Heritage Colonial Center, 4 rivers running through the city, a spring-like climate that never swings to extremes, no hurricane insurance, no snow removal, no seasonal utility spikes eating your budget alive. The numbers here are the most extreme on this list. Total monthly cost of living, all-inclusive for a couple, $1,300 to $1,600. That covers a modern apartment, groceries, transportation, and entertainment combined, less than many people pay in property tax and insurance alone, before groceries even enter the equation. Healthcare is the headline. Ecuador's public IESS system accepts legal residents for roughly $80 a month total, and private care rivals top-tier quality at a third of the price. No deductible negotiations, no denied claims. Visa access uses Ecuador's pensioner visa, proof of roughly $1,400 a month in guaranteed pension income, and permanent residency follows in months, not years. The emotional payoff? You stop planning your retirement around what you can barely afford and start planning it around a decade of independent data that says you're allowed to actually enjoy it. Here's the loophole almost no creator mentions. Renting abroad, not owning, is often the smarter play. No property tax, no market crash exposure, full flexibility if a country changes. The industry profits when you buy. It doesn't profit when you simply live well. Subscribe. Next week, we expose which cities worldwide are quietly repeating the same mistakes.